G'day you good motherfuckers, I hope you're doing not bloody bad. Listen, before I start any of these videos, there needs to be some sort of clarification. If you want to be whatever you want to be, then be that. A man, a woman, everything in between. Fucking go for it, big fella or lady. For example, Elliot Page, this bloke right here. He was, up until recently, Ellen Page. You may know her from movies like Juno. Elliot came out as transgender, and good bloody on him. Marvellous stuff, congratulations, round of applause. But you know what I won't cop? What I will not accept, the hill that I die on in this regard, is this tweet right here when Elliot Page posted a photo of him after he had his breasts removed. Elliot Page could beat us all up and I'm thrilled about it. Fucking bullshit, mate. My grandmother with rheumatoid arthritis could beat the fuck out of Elliot Page. And I'll tell you what, not only could beat the fuck out of Elliot Page, is gonna beat the fuck out of Elliot Page. Elliot, watch out, Granny coming for you. But let's be serious. Elliot is not the, definition of a masculine man. In fact, he looks exactly like Tess Holliday before she overcame anorexia. Bravo. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this video right here is brought to you by the great people at Surfshark VPN. Safety and security are two very important aspects of life online. And every day that you are online, there are dirty soy boys out there trying to do you harm. Most internet users aren't even aware of the amount of surveillance and data mining done with their personal information on a daily basis. Don't you wish there was someone out there defending your honor? Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There is, and it's Surfshark VPN. Surfshark turns you into an anonymous and hard to trace online user and makes the internet a safer and more enjoyable place for you. Do you know what geo-blocking is? Do you know that some people in some countries can't access certain programs, certain movies on sites like Disney Plus and Netflix? Your accessibility should be tied to the nation you are in. Well, guess what? When using Surfshark, you can have access to everything. Just connect to the service, refresh the page, and access granted. Ladies and gentlemen, I use Surfshark every single day to protect myself online. Whenever I use my computer, I just activate Surfshark and it is there to protect me. Ladies and gentlemen, how about this? If you use the code BUTSMAN, spelled exactly like that, you will get 83% off. That's absolutely amazing. And 3 extra months for free. You also get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is absolutely no risk. Surf by your own set of rules. Ladies and gentlemen, the link is down below. The world's in a very weird place right now, particularly the Western world. We seem to be so engrossed with one thing, or a couple of things around the same topic. That is gender, race, and sexual preference. For some crazy reason, it seems to be the most important part of many people's lives. How they identify, what race they are, how they look. That seems to be the most important thing in their lives. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it is a very slippery slope. I also think it's quite dangerous. Why do I think it's dangerous? Well, because of this. What I'm about to show you is the advertisements used by countries like China and Russia to get people to join their armed forces, their armies, their killing divisions, right? Let's have a look at China's. Wow, looks great. Let's check out our old pal, the Russians.
Врага, потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле главный враг — это ты. Вчерашний ты. Твоя задача — выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад победителем.
And now, let's have a look at the gender obsessed, the sexual orientation obsessed, the race obsessed United States of America. Let's have a look how scary their fucking campaign is.
It begins in California, with a little girl raised by 2 moms. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women.
That's beautiful. What a gorgeous story. What the fuck does that have to do with shooting? There is a slightly terrified chuckle you have when you compare these, but also in the back of your mind you think, if there's World War III, we are completely fucked. The focus on sexual orientation, gender, and how you identify is just, I feel, a wild goose chase. When you define everything in your life, all of your happiness, by how you identify sexually or what gender you happen to be, I feel like it's much harder for you to obtain genuine happiness within your life. Because you may think coming out as a certain gender is this marvelous thing, and maybe it is, and maybe it makes you really happy, but for a lot of people, they just don't care. And I feel like when you find out that they don't care, and there's this big thing that you've made about yourself, maybe that's going to be a massive letdown, and maybe you will be a more unhappy person because of it. Perhaps. I don't know. I guess my point is there are more important things in your life than what you do or don't have between your legs. Not to mention the people who think gender is the most important thing in the entire universe are usually, like this lady, fucking insane.
Every child should be put on hormone blockers until they know if they're trans or cis. End of story.
Fuck you to the moon. And that brings us to the lady who this video is about, Demi Lovato, or Lovato, or whatever you want to fucking call her. She's a very famous pop star, and if you do know who she is, you may have remembered her looking something like this, or this, or this, or this. Well, now, she's completely changed, and she looks like this.
Holy nutballs! What happened to your freaking face?
Demi, over the past couple of years, has come out with some strange declarations. She told everyone that she's pansexual. Now, if you don't know what pansexual is, it basically means you're not attracted to a gender, you're attracted to the person. But recently, old Demi Gorgon decided to tell everyone on her new podcast some very important news.
Living in the fourth dimension means existing consciously in both time and space. But for me, it means having conversations that transcend the typical discourse.
The fucking fourth dimension? What?
I want to take this moment to share something very personal with you. Over the past year and a half, I've been doing some healing and self-reflective work. And through this work, I've had the revelation that I identify as non-binary. With that said, I'll officially be changing my pronouns to they, them.
Officially? Is there like some sort of register or certificate you get when you officially come out as something? I know there's an option on Instagram to have it in your bio now. Is this whole thing when you come out as gender fluid or you change your gender identity, it's a big thing. Is it like the pregnancy post or the engagement post, or when you buy your first home, that post that gets heaps of likes? In all honesty, what she's just said is, hey, if you don't call me these two words, you're a piece of shit and a bigot, and everyone on Twitter's gonna hate you. And I'm more than happy to call you that. I just think that being called they or them, or ze or zer, is silly. Because it's not fucking English. You are that type of kid that would turn up at primary school and say, "G'day everybody, my name's Jacob, but you can call me Bruiser." You can't pick your own nicknames. Stop it.
I feel that this best represents the fluidity I feel in my gender expression and allows me to feel most authentic and true to the person I both know I am and still am discovering.
I feel like sometimes that this is somewhat of a religion, something to belong to. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that'll make people happy. But I wonder if some people are doing it. I'm not saying Demi's doing it, but I think some people are going to do these things just to further their careers. But the point with the English language I made before, this really hammers it home for me. Have a look what ET News, Entertainment Tonight News, have a look at their report on what happened with old Demi Gorgon.
Demi Lovato is opening up about their identity.
Opening up about their identity, like she's a fucking company or something. No. Listen, as far as grammatically correct Butterfield, that doesn't fucking exist, alright? I'm fucking hopeless when it comes to the English language, but I know that that's fucking bullshit right there.
The performer also added this disclaimer.
I want to make it clear that I'm still learning and coming into myself.
Pardon me? Coming into myself? That should have been the headline. Demi Lovato is coming into their self.
That's hot.
The singer, who has been an outspoken LGBTQIA+ advocate and ally for many years.
LGBTQIA+. Okay. Listen, this isn't a bigot channel, but at what point do we stop putting letters there and say, hey motherfuckers, you need to separate these groups? Because there's becoming too many. Here's the reason I titled this video the way I did. The problem with Demi. I feel like this is a bad message to a lot of children or a lot of young people who will see this as the way to fix their problems. If they suffer from anxiety or depression, maybe the reason they're suffering from that, they feel, is because they're not identifying as a they, them. And then they'll do that, and then somewhere down the line they'll realise that, hey, this wasn't the answer. and then they will feel worse because of it. For some people, it might fix them completely and they've finally found their identity and who they are, and that's fucking marvelous. Congratulations. But for a lot of people, they won't. And they see when you come out as a they, them, they see you getting all this praise, and then they want praise, so they go and do that as well. It seems like every day someone's coming out with a new gender, because for some reason, being transgender isn't progressive enough. You need to continue being progressive. Being gender fluid isn't progressive enough. You need to keep pushing the fucking line further and further. Do you want to do some learning, ladies and gentlemen? Strap yourselves in. Bigender. This term describes someone who identifies with two distinct genders. Bigender indicates a number of gender identities someone has. It doesn't indicate which gender someone identifies with or the level of identification they have with a particular gender, such as 50% male, 50% demigirl. What's a demigirl? Demigirl, a non-binary gendered identity, someone who particularly identifies as a girl, woman, woman X. The term demigirl, which tells us about someone's gender identity, but doesn't convey any information about the sex or gender assigned to them at birth. A demigirl can also identify as cisgender or trans. This consistent obsession with gender is just such a waste of time. But there's more and more people identifying as different genders, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think it is because it's popular. Most of those people, okay, maybe half of that group actually do feel like this, and that's great, and they're going to find their own identity and marvelous and wonderful, etc., etc. And I just feel like a lot of the other people involved are just involved because they want to get more recognition and Instagram likes and all that type of shit, and they want to be sort of, held above the crowd and cheered for. But here's the big thing, all right? And this is me going to be a prick for a second. You might come out and say your gender's this, you're they, them, and you expect everyone to go, wow, congratulations. You haven't done anything. Shut the fuck up. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Keep it fucking moist. Me dick stinks, toodaloo wah wah bah bah. And sorry about my big sweaty head, but it's fucking hot.
Hit it, boys.
G'day, you good motherfuckers. How are ya?